Hi everyone, it's Cindy from Meet Cindy. If you enjoy watching about personal finance, building generational wealth, and achieving financial freedom, please make sure to subscribe below and smash the like button. All right, let's start. Today, we have Michael Quinell, a real estate developer who has done over 13 million worth of transactions. I was very interested in his background and how he achieved success with flipping homes and, and developing commercial projects. Let's welcome Michael.
Thank you for having me, Cindy. Yes, my name is Michael Quinell. I'm here from the San Francisco Bay Area. I specialize in mostly doing a lot of properties and flips, like 1 million to 4 million additions. And we also do things like new construction and entitlements.
Great. Mind sharing more about some of your some of the projects that you've done, and let's do a walkthrough of how you were able to find a deal to closing, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, the most recent one was one we had in Mountain View, which is like the home of Google. It was right there off of Central Expressway. We just sold it for like 2.72 million. On that one, we had it sold like 7 days when it was on the market. It was like a preemptive offer. Someone made an offer for like over 100,000 above asking on that one. On that one, we did an addition project. So we pretty much extended the rear of the house. The house was shaped like an L. And then that back corner area, we extended it out like another 400 square feet and changed the entire layout of the house. The house had a light like a kitchen fire, but the point is that it spread smoke throughout the house, so the whole house looked blackened, but structurally the house was good. So it was just a big structural project. It took us about like a year and a half. It probably would have been 3 months sooner. It was just having to deal with the cities being shut down due to Corona.
Mm, okay. Do you wanna what's the address of the property?
That was 224 Lassen Avenue, Lassen Avenue in Mountain View.
Okay. I'm gonna show the audience here how it looks like. So yeah, this is how the Michael's project looked like before when he first bought it. Wow.
Yeah, so the whole house just had like a light kitchen fire. It looks way worse than it is. It's just mostly just all cosmetic. The smoke just gets around the house, so it just blackens all the walls. But at the end of the day, we're gonna still gut the house out and pretty much, put in new installation. We actually put in more, we had a free frame pretty much like all the house anyways. So the house is like semi brand new actually. So pretty much it's like we kind of just paid for a house, pretty much the land. Everything in the house is pretty much like almost like a brand new house. Everything from the floors, the subflooring, to the installation, the wiring, the plumbing, the drywall. There's nothing much in the house that's original. And even the original foundation, we have to seismically retrofit it. When you're doing these much larger projects, cities require you to do that. So the house is pretty much like almost brand new.
Mm. Wow. You said what, Lassen Avenue?
224 Lassen Avenue.
Okay, yeah.
224.
2242, right?
No, just 224.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just 224.
And this is how it looks like after it's done. Isn't that amazing? Huge
Yeah,
difference.
even the tree in the front of the house, you don't even recognize it in the old photos, like it was even there.
You didn't get rid of the big tree though, yeah.
It's still there. It's just that in the old photos, all the bushes and all the landscaping actually hide it. So it's actually very difficult to see it.
Mm. Did you do the pavers too?
Stamped driveway.
Stamp concrete.
Yeah. So
Oh,
even the driveway is new, the garage slab is new, and then the part where we do the addition, we have to build obviously a new foundation perimeter over there also.
new roof as well.
Yeah, like I said, everything in the house is pretty much brand new, even framing. So not much of it's original. The original layout was like a 3-2, and then we turned it into a 4-3.5. So pretty much you have like 3 bedrooms and an office, and then everyone gets their own bathroom. And then we have like the whole trifold doors, new concrete in the and landscaping in the rear. Yeah, the home was like semi brand new. There's even a guy next door that had a new construction house, and his home actually took longer to sell. He took like 90 or 120 days compared to ours, which was like 7. And it's mostly just because I want to say is that his design when it came to like the finishes, like the flooring, the tiles, the cabinets, the bathrooms, some of them weren't in sync and they were very outdated. Like the even though it was all brand new, like the style was very outdated for a home that he was trying to sell for like almost 3 million. So and his house was brand new construction, 300 square feet bigger than ours, but he barely sold more just because we have better materials, better cosmetics, everything from much more modern like tiling, like the Spanish tiles, to more modern, vanities and mirrors and kitchen and the layout. So a lot of things, if you have the house that's like really dialed in, you can get way more than your neighbors that are even new construction if they're not using like high quality, very stylish new age designs.
People like the current modern designs. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever is new and hip. Like the designs change like every 2 years. Like now, gray flooring is not so much popular anymore. A lot of them are like light, like wood colors and things like that, like the current flooring. So it changes, and you just have to be up to date. That one was that we had a really hard time selling. The materials and styling were like more than just like 2, 3, 4 years older. They're much older for a brand new home. So it's worth it to spend extra on more, not so much high end materials, but just more modern, aesthetically pleasing, whatever's cool and trendy kind of thing.
Mm. So yeah, I see here the layout here. So which area was added?
So pretty much the whole living room on the top right, that whole area didn't exist. So pretty much like from where the wall ends for the bathroom and the master bath going across, lower than that, a little lower at the where the bottom of the bathroom is. So like right there, going across to the right, that's where we did the addition. That was just a wall right there. So we added like 400 square feet and then changed the layout of the kitchen and added another bedroom and another bath and a half.
Where was the added bedroom?
So the one in the bottom left corner was like their living room. So that was turned into a bedroom.
Oh, this was the living room.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay. So this turned to bedroom, and then the living room is over there. Okay. So there's no living room, then only family room.
Exactly. So it's just one big open area with the dining room and everything else like that. And then the smaller bedroom, you can use that like as your office, the one that's in the middle between the two other bedrooms.
Hmm. Okay.
And then we have also another in-suite also.
Uh,
The
this
one on
one.
the top left. That's the master. The middle one's the master, and the top left is like another ensuite. So that one's perfect for like if you have in-laws, because a lot of the homes in the areas, some of them, a lot of people want 1 stories, or at least have a ensuite in the first floor for like parents. So that's really popular thing right now.
Hmm. Okay. So yeah, I think most homes here are pretty are mostly for one floor only.
Yeah, in this area, majority of them are, but some areas they do 2 stories. You'll see it like in Cupertino and stuff, but it's preferable to have a house that's 1 story. Just because a lot of people are, if they have their parents living with them, they don't want to do the stairs. And if they're an older couple, maybe they don't want to buy a house where they're going up and down the stairs. So if the best layout is always 1 floor, even in areas where it's like where you have a smaller backyard, people will still go with the 1 story. Like our neighbor next door, they made the house. It was like a 1,500 square house. They made into like 2,300 square feet, but they still kept 1 floor, even though it meant they had a smaller backyard. And they ended up having to shrink their garage from 2-car garage to 1-car garage, which probably hurt them also.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah. You want to tell us like how you were able to find a deal, finance it, manage the construction of it, and what are the setbacks?
On that one, so most of our business comes from like 3 different channels. We get one channel is from direct seller. So we'll do like up to like 5,000 calls in a week, about almost 10,000 mailers a month. And then the next channel is from agents and people we've known for a lot of time. And then the third channel is from other investors and wholesalers. A lot of investors and wholesalers, they don't do like fire damage, they don't do addition projects or extensions, they don't do new construction. Very few people do those. Everyone wants like very fast cosmetic flips you do like in a month or two. So that's what we specialize in doing, like projects that are 1 to 2 years. And those people come to us and sell us their projects, or or ask us to partner with them because they don't have the experience, the time, or the capital to do those. So the one I got this from Sean Callie's team, my friend, they at the time were not doing like additions, so they sold that one. So his team and my good friend Sol, they found the project, and then they sold it to me, and then pretty much we just took it from there. They didn't do anything else to it. They just had it tied up, and then we just bought it from them on contract.
Ah, and great. And then how did you secure the financing?
This one we have one of our lenders, and then the rest of the money is just me and my partner Adams. So it's just our money, and then sometimes for some projects we'll have like friends and family who invest with us, because a lot of people that you don't get any returns on your money in the bank. You're getting like not even a percent. So they invest with us because they get secure double-digit returns on real estate, and they want to be exposed to real estate, or they like real estate, or maybe they're not big on stocks or crypto, or some people are just like very wealthy, but they want their money like in predictable assets, giving them predictable incomes, because they already have a business that's fast growing and produces a lot of cash flow. So if they have to invest in something that's more diverse, they rather have something stable and that they'll know what they're going to get in 6 months or a year from now. So that's how we normally do it for the financing and the raising money from ourselves or friends and family and things like that.
And you also did a lending, right? From
Yeah, we use different lenders. We use Conventus, Ironbridge. We get a lot of lenders that call us all the time to do business. So the rates and the deals that we get obviously are different from other people because we have experience and we do multiple projects with them. So if you're a newbie, the best thing to do is partner with someone that has experience, so they can either not have to put as much down, they get a lower rate, pay less points. They're more flexible and faster, and they work better for you, and they'll give you better deals. So if you just do like a couple projects with someone else, you'll establish a relationship with the lender, and you have a portfolio, and then you'll get the better rates and terms. Versus if you went on your own, you might have to put 10-20% down more than an experienced investor.
the tip right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so once you finance it, I'm sure you close it quick. And then next is design, right? Architect, right? How do you know what to do with the house? There's so much possibilities. Like, how do you design it? Do you have a team that does it for you, or you do it yourself?
We have like our architects and drafters. We already have a general idea of what we want to do with the house. We want to expand it in this direction based on things like setbacks and all that. And then it comes down to like our drafters and architects. They'll give us their input and tell us, this is the best, most useful, buyer friendly type of house design. So we'll go for there. And then when it comes to like dealing with like, then we have to deal with the city, submit permits, they'll drop all the drawings, and we just pretty much take all the sets to the city, and then deal with the planning department, the building department. Some cities are fast. Maybe they'll take like a month, 1 to 3 months to approve it. Some could take longer, like 3 to 7 months. So it varies from city to city. So on these bigger projects, you could easily spend like 1 to 2 years to do them, which is why very few investors take them on. And then we get them because nobody else wants it. And then pretty much after you submit it to the city, you just go back and forth with them. It's like a negotiation. They tell you one thing and then you change it, and then they're still not happy and they come back and do another one and then they're happy. So you kind of might have to go back and forth like 2, 3, 4 times. And between each time you're waiting like maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometimes as much as 4 to 6 weeks. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. And then for like the designs and finishes, we kind of just go whatever's popular at the moment. My partner Adam, he has really good taste, so he picks out majority of the finishes, like counters, the depending on like the type of property in the market you are. Maybe you buy off the shelf cabinets, or if it's a higher end, you might buy custom cabinets. And then same thing with your appliances. You kind of go higher end with higher end properties, and then just anything that looks nice for lower end properties. So, and then yeah, pretty much flooring depends too. If it's a higher end, you can use like hardwood, or even if it's not super high end, you can do like engineered. If it's middle to low, you could do like luxury vinyl plank, things like that. And then the hardest part right now is actually going around and finding vendors that are not that they are in stock for items. So you always have to have like 1 or 2 backups, because right now there's like a shortage on a lot of supplies. You might have to wait a week, some might have to wait multiple weeks, and you don't have that time on your project sometime.
Oh yeah, timing. And and then also sometimes dealing with the city inspections, right? Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of headache at times. When when the city uh, you don't know when they come, right? A lot of times they just give you a round ballpark of when.
Yeah, they'll give you like a rough idea of like how long it'll take, but majority of the time it always takes longer. Like Mountain View, for example, after they approve it, you have to make an appointment with someone who makes an appointment for you to pay for the permits. So even though there's someone that works there all day that you can just walk up and pay it, you have to make an appointment with somebody who will make an appointment for you, and then you can go down there and pay it, and then they have you fill out more paperwork that they could have just sent you the first time around, that you could have printed, filled out, and sent back to them. So like everything takes way, way, way longer. The cities are not like they're not advanced for a lot of basic stuff, like making payments online. So it could take a while for everything. It's not fast like people think. It could take you know 2 weeks just to go pay for it, just because you have to wait for someone to make an appointment for you.
Yeah. I remember when I first did my project in Mountain View, it was yeah, like the inspections sometimes didn't like it just didn't work out well. Or sometimes we don't even pass inspection. Then we have to redo all over again and it will take time, you know. Yeah, for sure. So okay, so we talked about the design and then construction. So how do you manage construction side?
My partner, he handles all the hard construction. I just handle the soft construction, like maybe submitting plans to city and talking to the planners and things like that. The construction side, he handles that. He's there multiple times a week at the job site, meeting the city inspectors, picking out the materials, making sure that materials arrive, things like that. So it's, or even if you have a reliable person like a contractor, you still got to be on them and like push the project ahead, because they could fall behind. And then sometimes some people don't show up, or like they only have half the crew there, so you got to check in and see what's going on and see what you can do to get everybody on the same page. So it's mostly just like a combination of like, you being a leader, making sure they do their stuff, and babysitting.
Yeah, it's a lot of babysitting for sure. Yeah, when I when I first did the project and I managed the project myself, uh, I always have to make sure that where are you? Why are you not coming? Sometimes they don't even come to the project. you know.
Yeah, I've heard of other people who've had like contractors who have their family working for them and they have their employees show up drunk to their job site and then they just leave like a couple hours later, but they still expect to get paid that day. So it's just crazy. You get all kind of crazy stuff. I met with this one guy who had a hard time on a project up on the East Bay, and the contractor he hired actually faked a break-in on the house to steal materials from the guy. So this way he had to order more materials because he stole some stuff that was very specific and he mentioned things that no one else would have known. So, but the point is like you get all kind of crazy ass shit. I've heard of contractors who do all the work, but they never actually get the final inspection. And then they, after the home sells, they find out there's no inspection. They have to go back and do it. Contractors taking money and leaving jobs. There's all kind of crazy shit out there. Another guy I met the other day, he was trying to flip a house. I don't know if he's flipped houses before, but he obviously had a hard time with this one, and he wanted to sell it to me because like his contractor already walked out with like 10 grand. It's been delayed, I think probably like for at least a couple months to maybe almost a year to get done. And it was a much larger project too. It was like an addition. They're adding on, several hundred square feet. But like most people, they don't have the tolerance or the time, or they run out of money, or holding costs just are just too high. Because on some of the larger projects, your holding costs are anywhere between like 10, it could be like 10 to $20,000 a month, depending on how big your project is and how much you're spending. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the interest rates and time is always ticking too, and every single day you're paying interest on your if you're not doing anything productive to the house, then you're basically losing money in a way. Right. Yeah. But yeah, so your partner does the construction for you, and manage the construction side, and then let's see. So what are the struggles that you face? The big
The biggest thing is just, I guess, just having dealing with the cities. The cities are very time consuming, like Foster City. Every time you have to submit something, you have to wait like 30 or 45 days to get back from them. And if they ask you to make a change, then you submit and you gotta wait another 30, 45 days. So every time you do that, you're wasting months at a time. Also dealing with PG&E, we waited like 6 months to get like 6 or 7 months to get power from them. So and that's all we're waiting for. After that, we could get the final inspection, but you have to wait. That's just how it is. I've talked to developers who work in like the hillside areas like Saratoga Hills, Los Altos Hills, Los Gatos Hills, and they can wait 6 months to like over a year to get PG&E to hook everything up for them. Um, it's like PG&E, you can't do anything about it. It just takes forever. If in the cities, they could take a very long time. Like San Jose is notorious for that. There's Before Corona, people would line up. The city would open at 9, but people would line up at like 7, 7:30 in the morning to get a ticket to go pull permits and meet with people at the city. It was like stupid long. And the cities they could technically, some cities outsource, but the bigger ones can't because they're unionized. So they'll never be able to hire enough people, and they'll never be able to outsource it to anybody. So it'll like drag on. So the upside is that they'll never build enough houses, which will keep prices high, which is good for like investors, but it sucks for everybody else because the city makes it hard just to get anything done. And yeah.
That explains why California, like Bay Area housing is like so little.
Yeah. So like they're trying to do things like making it so you can like build multiple units on a property, but that won't really do a lot because most people don't want to be landlords, and it costs a lot of money to do that. No one's gonna just whip out, quarter million, half a million to go build 3 units on the property. The bigger issue is that it's hard to build because a lot of, even in especially like in rich neighborhoods, the rich areas, they don't allow like high density, and the rich areas don't want poor people in their areas, so they don't allow low income housing. So we'll never have enough housing because there's just the cities and the neighborhoods that fight it.
Mm. Yeah, there's all these like new housing, like single family and end of single family zoning, right? Um,
Yeah.
legislation. So I had this talk with the real estate attorney, David Quinell, and he was saying like, yeah, like in the short term, it's not gonna affect the supply of
Yeah,
supply of housing here,
yeah.
at least in the Bay Area. And but like long term, we might see some like more.
Yeah, it'll do a little bit. The bigger thing is they have to just make it easier to build like projects that are like 10 to 100 units. They have to make it easier to do those projects. Like they have very low height requirements in a lot of areas. You can only build like 3 stories, 4 stories, where if you went to other cities, they're building maybe like 6, 7, 8 stories in a very similar neighborhood with a similar kind of layout. So
Mhm.
even if you could build an ADU, majority of the people in your neighborhood are not going to probably build an ADU, or let alone 2, 3 units. And plus, you still have to meet like setbacks, which is like how much space between the building and like the side of the house, the back of the house, the front of the house. So they still can limit you like on how big the house can be. So, you know, no one wants to build a 200 square foot ADU. So,
Mhm.
if they can't build, all they can do is build 1 unit, then that's all they're going to build. Most cities, it'll probably be really hard. The cities will probably make it really hard for people who want to do 3, 4 units, or the neighbors will. It's probably possible, but a lot of neighborhoods will fight it, or the cities, or just take a long time to do it because they're not set up for it yet.
Mm. Yeah, cities make it tough. Yeah, maybe unless they become more efficient, in like.
Yeah, you probably make more money if you can figure out a software that you could sell them to make it easier. But then they probably want to buy it because the city workers wouldn't have a job then.
Maybe if you have a plug in there, like with the higher ups, then
Yeah,
maybe.
the people I talk to that can get projects done faster are typically people who have connections to like city
Mhm.
workers and elected officials, which
Yeah.
is why a lot of people donate to the different council members and mayors so they can
Mhm.
get their projects approved. Because if you have to do a project, even if it was say 10 units, like 8 units, like could be townhouses, you still have to go in front of city council for review. And these city council people, only maybe 1 out of the 5 of them actually live in that district, and that person might not even live in that part of the district or neighborhood. So you have all these people who don't live in the neighborhood voting on what happens and having a say of some sort of influence, which is why people have to donate money to all the politicians so they can, to get a project done. Even if the city says, you can, if you meet the requirements and you give them everything you want, you still have to go around kissing all their asses to get something done.
Oh man. Wow. Yeah. I guess this is just how the politics works, right? Politics. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So yeah, like COVID also delayed the entire project as well, right? And then, so yeah, let's talk about the selling process. So who did you hire to just do the selling for you? And
Um, this one was someone that we worked with in the past. Typically, like we'll sell with people who we've done business with. So, if they've helped us out, we'll definitely help them out. You know what I mean? We want to, they helped us succeed, so we want to help them succeed. So it's pretty straightforward. We just get our stagers. With stagers, you always have to have backups because some stagers, they're out of furniture because they're full up at other projects. So you have to have multiple stagers, photographers, like drone people. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing, as long as they take decent photos and stuff like that, you don't have to worry. And then, you just have to price it right. Depending on where the market's going. If the market's going up, you know, you can be maybe a little more aggressive with your pricing. If it's going down, then it's better to price a little lower. So price it before the homes get to your price point. But at the end of the day, you want to get as many people inside your house as possible. So if you can price it, you don't have to make it stupid low, like 30% less than what it's going to sell for, but price it low enough so you get as many people that come in. Because the more people that come in, the more offers you get. The more offers you get, the more chances you have to bid up the price.
mm, got it. And I'm guessing it was 20% net profit that you made from this project.
This one, We like probably cleared, I want to say like over 10% of ARV. So we sold it for like 2.7. So yeah, probably like somewhere around like 300 off the top of my head. Yeah.
No, no, no. I mean, like, what was the gross profit percentage?
Oh, like the gross. Well, if you just look at the difference between what we paid for it, which was like 1.6, and what we sold it for, that's like, 1.1. So 1.1 on 2.7, that's like, 40%. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
40%
we
profit.
yeah. Yeah, we bought it for like, yeah, 40% less than what we sold it for. So like the gross is like,
Oh, okay. Minus the construction
1.120.
costs. And all.
Yeah. If you take out the construction costs were like around 400, 420. Um, it's the problem is that right now that because all the price like lumber went up like 300% or whatever it was, and all the commodity prices went up, and
Mm.
then labor went up because a lot of people weren't working or a lot of people left the state. And then a lot of people who work and then they come back and forth across the border, they can't get across the border because everything's locked down, which meant labor is more expensive, materials are more expensive. So it ended up costing us, an easy, 25, 30% more than what we originally budgeted because of everything that happened. Yeah.
Wow. So
Yeah.
the profit like minus all the construction and closing costs, how much was it around?
I'll say like around maybe 300 or something like that. Because we still have
300.
to, yeah, we still had to pay out like our investors and everything else like that. So like between me and my partners, wasn't bad. 300, yeah. It took a while, but it's worth it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. For how long was it? 18 months.
Yeah,
Right?
like 18 months.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Congratulations. Yeah. Thank you for doing a whole walkthrough and sharing so much. Yeah.
Yeah, anytime to help out. Anyone they can reach out and ask questions. And we always looking to help people. We partner with a lot of newbies, people that are just starting in the business, and we also hold like meetups for everyone from experienced to new people every other month. We'll probably do one in November at our Palo Alto project or San Jose project, and then maybe another one also in like December or January coming up. So we'll have one like almost every month coming up.
Mm, nice. How about for people out of state?
Out of state, we don't really do anything out of state, but if they're in town, they're welcome to drop by. Or if they have real estate questions, even if they're out of state, you can message me. I get a lot of people and friends from out of state. They'll message me too. So the real estate's pretty much it's the same systems and processes. This is different price points.
Mm, great to that you're giving back, that you're helping other people. Some flippers they just want to keep everything to themselves, right?
Yeah. No, I've been very blessed and I had a lot of good people I worked with when I started. When I started doing like wholesaling, and then after that, I did like hoteling, where you buy the property and you just put it back on the market and sell it, and then small flips, and then additions, and then new construction entitlement. But it was all because I worked with other people and they've been really great and really helpful. So if anything I could do to give back and help people out, I definitely want to do that.
Thank you so much for that. Mhm. Yeah, maybe we can do an event together. Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. I know Herman is also interested in doing an event at Topgolf.
Oh yeah. If you can get a spot, because they're like super booked out, like weeks in advance.
Yeah, I was just there for an event a couple days ago. Yeah, it was really fun. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Any final thoughts, advice, tips for beginners, newbies?
It's like anything else, like any business you start, you got to put in like a solid like 20, 30 hours a week, and not even just like, and that's like going out and getting business, whether it's like running ads, calling people, knocking on doors, not like 20, 30 hours doing like bullshit, like picking out your domain name or designing a business card or something like that. So like solid money making activity, like 20, 30 hours per week for and it can last you maybe 1 to 2 years before you make money. It took me a year to get my first deal, and like $15,000 or something like that in marketing money. So you can go a long time, especially in real estate. People think it's quick, fast money, but majority of the time for most people it's not, because the barrier to entry is so low. You don't need a degree or anything like that. You can just start calling people versus like if you went to go buy a 7-Eleven, you're putting up like 70, 80 grand or something like that. So it's a very low, which means there's a lot of competition, but there's also a lot of people who drop out. Most people probably drop out after like 4 to 8 months of half-ass trying, not even really trying. So if you stick with it for like at least like have a goal of sticking with it for like a year and a half, 2 years, and you budget at least 20, 30 hours of solid money making activities of like running ads, networking with people, calling people, mailing people, whatever it is you do for your business, then you can be successful. But you gotta really grind and stick with it because it's not glamorous.
Yeah, I mean, your background is actually a picture of when the Mountain View house is being
Oh yeah, this
under
is like
construction,
when all
right?
the rough was getting done.
Yeah, it's yeah, not many people are willing to go through and deal with construction because it is a pretty rough kind of work. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. It's backbreaking, it's time consuming. There's a lot of nights and stuff where you may doubt yourself, but you just have to like push through, because if you just remind yourself that most of these people that are doing what you do, they gave up like, after 1, 2, 3, 4 months, So if you just stick in it and don't lose a lot of money for like, 1, 2, 3 years, you'll outlast the majority of the people actually. So it's like in most of anything you do in business, like it's probably like a 90% fallout rate or even higher. So, and most of those people probably fall out in the first 1 to 3 years. So your competition greatly falls off if you just stay in it long enough and grind hard.
Very, very inspiring tip there. Yeah, and I think most people need to hear it because they think that, oh, flipping is like, oh, it's so fun. Like they see the TV show, like what is it? Some like flipping
Yeah,
shows.
$1 million flips and all that stuff.
Yeah, million-dollar flips. They look at the show and they think that it's fun. It's glamorous. It's like cool. Right? But behind the scenes is not actually the case all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we look at a lot of properties for sale, when we're like doing comparables and doing research, there's a lot of homes that you know that are flips. And when you run the numbers and you see what they paid for it and what they're selling for, there's a lot of people who are losing money or breaking even on a lot of these projects. And if it was that easy just to buy something and sell it, then everybody would be doing it right now. But very few people do. Very few people have the time or money, and most people don't want to risk it. A lot of people don't even buy and flip in California. They do it in Texas or Arizona, because when you talk to people and say, "Do you flip houses in California?" they're like scared because the price is so high, which is good because it's good for me because everyone else is scared, so they go somewhere else. But in general, yeah, the bigger the numbers, the more even less people compete when you get to bigger numbers and bigger projects or just bigger business in general. So if you just stick to it and keep leveling it up, like the number of people playing at that level will drop off dramatically. Well, it still will be hard, but as you get stronger, it only gets, it becomes easier, or you just become, you overcome it faster and easier than someone else with less experience. So if you just like grind it out hard for like, 2, 3, 4 years, be consistent, and just keep yourself up to date what's going on to, get more business, what's going on, changes in your business, then you'll outlast and do better than like 95, 99% of everybody else.
Okay. What are some tips for like people who don't even have 10K or 20K to invest, in their first flip or
The
deal?
easiest thing is like you just go knock on doors. Just print out some flyers and say, hey, I'm looking to buy a place in this area for myself, my family, whatever it is. And just, were you only one looking to sell? Are you looking to sell? Just knocking on people's doors. You can get lists to call people. You could probably get a list of like a couple thousand people to call for, maybe $500 or something like that. Like what's it, 20, 30, 40 cents for each house. So you got like 2,000 homes that you looked around that are ugly. You drove around, they call driving for dollars, and you make a list of all the ugly ass houses, and then you have like 2,000. You could probably get the phone numbers and everything for them for probably like $400 or something like that, $500. You can get all who owns it, how long they've owned it, their phone number, their mailing address, and you can just knock on their door and call them. That's the cheapest thing you can do. It's not going to be pretty. You're going to get a lot of rejections and no's, but I mean, if you're willing to spend, if you're willing to make like 600-700 calls a week, or drop, if you don't have time, you can always spend 1,000-2,000 a month in marketing. So you either have time or you have money. If you're not willing to invest one or the other, you're not gonna have shit.
So yeah, you can start with wholesaling, right? Basically, that's what you meant.
hmm Yeah, you could wholesale to people, you could tie it up, or you could find partners like myself and other people where you just partner with them and bring the deal, and they'll handle the financing, the money, the construction, the selling of it. So yeah, there's always options. I mean, like, not everybody special is good at one thing. So people are always looking for people who are good at finding deals or raising money or something.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Really looking forward to your to next project, next show. Yeah.
Definitely. Thank
Um,
you, Cindy, for having me on your show, and can't wait for you to be at our meetup event. And anyone else, message us. We'll have an event coming up in November. And if you have any questions, real estate wise, anything, just DM me.
what's the best way to DM you?
You could DM me on like my Instagram. It's business with Mike. So business with Mike on Instagram, or yeah, or you could look for us on Meetup in the Bay Area, or on Facebook, Michael Quinell. There's not that many Michael Quinells, so you find me pretty easy. And yeah,
Do you don't really have a site, right, for people?
the site we have is mostly for like sellers that we call, or
Mm,
like we mail, and then they'll go to our website. So the website doesn't have like a contact for just like people I network with and just everybody else. It's just for sellers to get business.
got it. All right. Thank you so much, and hope you have a great weekend there.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Cindy. Ciao.